Counter podcast, the Game of Thrones edition, here on April 17th. Wednesday, we got Mike, Dave, myself, and Boater, the usuals. And we have a special guest with his feet up, already very comfortable here on the set. Tom is joining us once again, the Game of Thrones master himself. Tyler's on vacation this week, so Tom's filling in. And what special week to have him come in when we're talking about Game of Thrones. So we have a lot to go over. Real quick, before we get going, a couple of shout-outs. We had some fun at the Empire Comic-Con this past weekend. Got to meet some new faces, got to, expand our brand and our image and so on, and meet some new people. It's okay, could have been more people, maybe, but, it is what it is.
It was a really good weather weekend, which kind of keep, one of those things that more people wanted to be outside.
70 degrees on Saturday, so it's going to happen.
But that said, it was still, I think it was still pretty good turnout.
So we're there, but don't forget we have our big event, the Saratoga Comic-Con, coming up April 27th and 28th. We have two booths here. We have a lot of pops going. We have a lot of video games going, a lot of stuff going. So it should be very, very fun to do that. We're broadcasting live on Twitch at Instant Video Games, and also Facebook Live at Instant Games NY. I'm going without notes right now because my laptop is apparently restarting, and it's been restarting for 10 minutes. So
classic mistake.
I'm going. The classic. I think that was one of my on the Dan hate list 2 weeks ago. A classic update, and I couldn't do anything. So it was working just fine yesterday, even this morning. But now all of a sudden, when I flip it open now, it wants to restart. So we got a lot of that. A lot of Comic-Con stuff coming up to finish out the month, so we're excited to do that. We're also going to do, we met a good booth, the Empire Retro Expo, I believe is the official name. They also run the RetroCon out in Syracuse, so we're going to be going to that Saturday, June 13th. So we're excited to go on there. We got a lot of other local video game stores that are going to be there, so it's kind of like the who's who video games stores there, so that should be fun. So looking forward to that. We'll give you some more information on that later. But this past weekend, we had a huge season premiere. 2 years in the running, 590-something days. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones Season 8 premiere. And Mike, Dave, Tom, myself, in that germ that we barely discuss in Vermont, Germont, store friend Zach, we all watched it together. We weren't allowed to talk. We all had our seats. There was no discussions. There was no nothing. We watched the full episode.
When I was watching with Steph, I checked my phone once for something, and I was like, "Wait a minute! Did he just say? Well, you know, if you weren't on your phone."
It was very, very, very interesting. So let's talk about the Season 8 premiere. Let's give a review of what happened.
And let's just say right now, if you haven't watched it and you want to remain spoiler-free, it's been nice seeing you tonight, and we'll see you next week.
If you want to watch it, and you're a Game of Thrones fan, if you haven't watched it at this point, then it's your loss, is what I'm going to say. Because
I saw a meme on, I think it was Facebook, it was just like saying, all the people who love to say they don't watch Game of Thrones, the time has come and passed. Let's enjoy Game of Thrones. They don't have to even worry about it. They can't catch up if they wanted to. It's in the end game now.
You've been end game. You've been duly warned, and also we haven't heard anything about leaks. So if you're looking for leaks for later in the season, we got none of that for you. So
let me start because I think I'm the newest Game of Thrones person here. So let me give you my inexperienced opinion. And then I'll turn it over to you four who have watched it throughout its time. And I've crammed, 80-something episodes, 60 episodes?
67 episodes.
In a month, 2 months. And the way I look at the first episode... A month. It was
relatively impressive.
It's a lot to take in that time.
And they're hour episodes. It's not like you're watching 45 minutes or they're an hour straight.
Full hour on average, yeah.
So, looking at what I saw, I thought it was a relatively boring episode. I think it gave, in my opinion, it gave everybody the high horse. It gave everyone the high end, and let everyone win, and let everyone be happy, and let everyone have the upper hand than everyone else.
Oh, well, that's what you got to do. If you want to damage something, you need to raise it higher before you drop it heartbreakingly.
And I think it was just an episode to give everyone what they deserve. And then next episode is when the daggers start coming out and the bodies start to drop. And And I thought that was the general feel of the episode. And what for general feeling, how did you think the episode was in general?
Did you think the Umber boy got the high horse? Debatable.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it mirrored the pilot episode, which I think they were trying to do very well. That was very cool that they did that. From start to finish, it looked like they were mirroring the pilot for the most part, which was just when the king and queen came into town, the same music played when Robert and Cersei came into town.
Yeah, you have the kid running through and trying to find a high spot to look.
Seeing it, Arya watching them come through, and she's not greeting them where she should be. She's out in front.
And then Jaime and Bran at the end.
With Jaime seeing Bran, just like it ended with Jaime pushing it out. There's some other ones that I saw, like right when Daenerys introduced herself, Sansa said, "Winterfell is yours," which is what Ned Stark said to Robert. I'm sure there's other
crypts as well.
They immediately went to the crypts. Did they immediately go to the crypts?
I'm not sure if it was immediate, but
I'm sure there's other parallels that I'm just not
it was the
smart
beat
enough
they
to
hit,
say. But I think I liked it because every thing that people expected going into season 8, I feel like they hit, and now we don't know where it's going to go. All the reunions that people expected, we saw.
I loved seeing every single one of those.
We saw
reunions.
it all just in the first episode.
The
John got exposed to. I don't want to ruin it, but John got exposed to what he should have been exposed to by Sam.
Yep.
That wasn't dragged out. So who knows where it goes from? Which I like. They just We saw the Arya and Hound reunion. Arya, Genji, John and Arya, John and Bran. When I say Genji? Gendry. There's other reunions that I'm forgetting, but I feel like they got all the stuff out that season 7 left. Season 7 left.
I love it's been so long since John has seen any of them, and he just has no idea. He's used to Arya and Sansa being at each other's throat, and Arya's just and Sansa's the smartest person I know, as a direct diss to John. Oh, you still have Needle. Have you used it? Once or twice.
So I don't know. I shouldn't tell him.
There's a lot of people in Winterfell right now. A lot of people walking around.
And it was really jarring when it went back to Cersei at the Red Keep. It's like, oh right, yeah, you still exist, and what's his dumb face, Greyjoy, still kind of in the mix there. But for the most part, it was Winterfell, which was shown really well by the new introduction sequence.
That was wet. That was so wet.
Yeah, because
I said that. I looked at Mike right after I got done. I was like, "That is so wet."
It was.
I guess I don't really know what the difference was between the other two.
For the past 7, it's been starting down, and it goes to King's Landing, and it goes to Winterfell. It might have stopped at the Twins along the way or whatever. Then it goes across the Narrow Sea to Bravos or wherever Daenerys is. And it does pretty much the same thing. It'll show the different locations that's going to be in the show. But it goes kind of the same path. It's done it the same way for 7 straight seasons.
You guys noticed that right away when it came on.
And it's never gone inside any of the buildings. So for this one to start north of the wall, to go through the wall and then into Winterfell, and then into the Red Keep was really cool. And of course, ending on
the throne,
throne itself.
God.
Really, it's risky. I think this late in the game to change it up.
It makes sense. I mean,
it's worth it.
Yeah.
So looking at the first episode, who do you think got who got the most out of that episode? Who do you think got the most of the storyline? Whose story completely changed in that one? Obviously, John with the Targaryen and this and that. But when you finish up with that episode, who was impacted the most out of all the characters in that episode?
Daenerys.
You think so?
She learned that no one in the North really likes her, and no one's gonna take the knee immediately upon her saying it, unlike everyone else who has experienced in the past. She's realizing that there is a stable culture that she is not going to be able to bully into following her, and then just the fact that everyone knows about one of her dragons is no longer hers, and that's a problem that everyone's going to have to deal with now, whereas no one has made that really her problem before.
Yeah.
I think Samwell's important.
I was literally just about to say that.
Because you would think he's just going to be the guy that's going to go along with everything and just be John's right-hand man, but now he has big beef with Dany after.
I didn't see that coming.
It
makes sense.
And he's pissed.
I didn't see him being super pissed about that, and that's what leads him to tell and now he's going to be a driving force. If you remember, when Jon was elected Lord Commander, he didn't really want to be Lord Commander.
No.
And Sam was the one who stepped up and elected him, and kind of said, "You need to do this." I envision something very similar occurring.
Yeah, he could be like a moral guiding line for it, but it's also like it's rough right now because he's so emotionally affected. Like, you know, I saw something earlier today that was humorously comparing it to Robin Hood Men in Tights. What's that? It's that like, what happened to my dog? Run over. What happened to my cat? Choked on the goldfish. But like basically, he's like, oh, but with my family, whatever. Oh, Tarly, I have some bad news for you. Oh, well, I guess my brother, him too. Sorry.
She was not sympathetic at all.
Didn't they show
But she was forward. She wasn't trying to hide it.
She wasn't. She was being honest. Yeah.
Didn't they show the two of them eating it in the beginning? Like when they were like, last time on Game of Thrones, like they had that whole crowd of people and the two guys standing there basically going,
that they were Tarly.
I forgot they were Tarly,
They were Tarly, yeah.
That's what reminded me, to be honest. I was looking at two of them, I was like, weren't they screaming at Sam like a season ago?
But like what Tom said, I didn't see that coming whatsoever. Yeah. Even when they walked into the room, her and Jorah, yeah. I'm gonna botch all the names. So when they're walking, I still didn't even when they first started talking to him, and I'm like, I still didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
And then I
like,
forget who brought it up. She said, "Oh wait, are you
not Randall Tarly?
Are you is your father Randall Tarly?" Mm-hmm. And that's when and that's when all of a sudden. And I was shocked when all of a sudden he got. I think he would have been fine with his dad dying.
I know, and then he's like, "Well, at least I'll be welcome there on my brother's road." I was like, "Oh no, oh." See, I said after the episode, I had just assumed when that scene started, it was going to be a Sam Jorah moment.
Yeah,
they didn't really even touch on that. That's what I was expecting.
Sam healing Jorah, and. You know, it's like, oh, well, I could use a pardon because this has been in the Tarly family. Wait, Tarly? Oh, no. Yeah,
but wouldn't that now mean Sam takes the throne or whatever his dad has?
Yeah. Sam would be the head of the Tarly family, I suppose.
Is there anything to that anymore?
They basically disavowed him when he stole the sword and left?
Yes, they did that, and also like by deciding to be a maester, not to mention going to the Night's Watch.
I was going to say, he joined the Night's Watch, he's out.
He's a maester and he's in the Night's Watch. That's a double whammy. And that his brother could have a son that no one was really talking about.
Yeah, he's pretty down the line of actually being able to...
but I agree. I think
they haven't been they haven't brought that sword up at all since he stole it. So that's
the sword.
He stole his ancestral.
Well, they're obviously going to use it because they can kill the White Walker.
I always thought he would give it to Jorah, which is again what I kind of was beginning to think.
Who would be able to use it more effectively?
Was going to happen.
I was wondering who it would go to. Basically,
or why wouldn't Sam just keep it himself? He's one of the only ones to kill a White Walker out of everyone there.
The Hound. Yeah. He just got his axe, though.
So I actually think that a character who's going to play a big role is I'm going to say the name wrong. Ira, the daughter of the Stark.
Arya.
I'm going to say it wrong, so get used to it.
I love her. She's my favorite little murder princess. I love her.
But she went down to Gendry.
Yep.
And the thing, and gave him the. And I don't know if you looked at it well enough, but I'm pretty sure.
See what it was.
That it was a cannon launcher for a dragon.
It kind of looked like a detachable spear in the middle.
And it's something that can be shot up.
Because there was the plans that the Lannisters made for the dragon killing ballista.
So I don't think she likes Daenerys whatsoever. And I think the key role you're going to see is, I think Sansa already does it, but I think you're going to see her make a key point against either Daenerys or even the Night King. If you watch, here's my point. When you watch them all, and again, I'm only saying this because you guys sit here and say all the time about how you have to study every little thing that happens in Game of Thrones. When you watch everyone come in, the dragons fly, everyone's like, oh, she was watching them and studying them, and she was she wasn't at all stunned. She was watching to see exactly what they were doing and what their weak point could be. Yeah. I think she plays a big point in either going after Daenerys or going after the Night King, both of which have a dragon.
Well, that's the unspoken thing that they mentioned when all of them were sitting in front of the table in front of all the Northern Lords, and there was that heavy looming elephant in the room of, well, wait a minute, you're the king, and they kept bringing it up, you're the king in the North. Why are you sitting with her like that? We're not bowing to her. And so there was that whole heavy thing, and they said we need to deal with the Night King now. and we'll put that aside to later. I think you're right that she's preparing for later because it's gonna be sooner than that. Like
Sam said something really, really smart, and that was to say that you took off your crown to serve your people. Will she do the same? And like that hit me. I was like, that was like.
Well, I think that's gonna be put to the test with the whole Jon Snow.
Yeah.
The whole Jon Snow being a Targaryen. Is she gonna take her crown off? So let's talk about that for a minute. What's lead into that? One of the big storylines coming out of the episode was Sam revealing to Jon Snow that he's in fact a Targaryen.
Yep.
And so Daenerys would be his aunt. Am I right on that?
Yes.
Would be his aunt. So he is the rightful.
He's the rightful heir.
If you're putting up the argument that a Targaryen is the rightful to the crown, Jon Snow would fall, not Daenerys. Jon Snow would fall.
Yeah.
So where do we think that's going to play out? How do we think? Where do we think is Daenerys really going to step aside? Is Jon Snow really going to want it?
I think that made that abundantly clear in episode 3 last season when she went on that whole ridiculous tirade about how I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms and I will.
But she's saying that based off the thought that she's the last Targaryen. What happens when proof get? What happens when proof get? Everything she stands for.
Because she'll probably explain it away by saying that he wasn't raised a Targaryen. He wasn't raised as part of the family. He wasn't raised to know the fire that runs in his blood. Some BS like that. That's going to be you might be by blood, but you haven't lived the way that you need to rule as a Targaryen.
And remember, she ensured that she was the last Targaryen by killing the other surviving Targaryen.
The thing is, that's a real possibility is Jon versus Daenerys. Because
I think she's a fake. I think just like she killed her brother. Well, I'm serious. She walks around with this whole Mary Sue atmosphere that she's so perfect, and the show builds her up like, oh wow, here she comes.
I am 100% with him.
I told him that term like a few weeks ago, and he loves
that. Sounds like a Tom term.
I was
gonna say.
And she walks around like she's this goddess, and that no one. She always has the upper hand. And she walks around with this. Take the knee. You'll give me your knee.
Look at the short list of the things she's done recently, and tell me you shouldn't be walking around like that.
Here's the huge problem I have with Daenerys is that she is a conqueror. She can inspire people. She can move people to fight for her, but she can't rule worth a damn.
No. She takes it
over. What happens when she stayed still for
2 seasons?
However long they were in that place. It went to shit.
Every
single
she
takes over cities. Makes it way she wants it, and then leaves, and then that city falls apart after.
Yep.
And you see, like, the slavery.
I don't think that she's evil, though.
I don't think she's evil. I'm not saying she's evil.
I
just think she's not that Mary Sue, like everyone, like that perfect little lady. She has a big ego. She walks around saying.
I almost think that she is leaned on the most in the series advisors.
I'll agree with that. I don't think that she's
Barristan
necessarily taken their advice all the time. I do have a couple notes in chat. Cross WRX says, "Stop butchering the names. Sorry, too bad it's going to happen." He does say the dragons did recognize Jon. The dragons did have respect for Jon, whether that's as a Targaryen
but what does
or
that
just
mean?
like,
what does that
likes
mean?
you.
What is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm
He
mad
didn't
about,
get eated when he touched them. That's what it means.
Let's start with Mike and Tom here. What does the dragon staring at Jon mean? You choose. What does that mean?
I don't know. I assume that was either stop hooking up with my mom.
Yeah, that's hard to.
This is incest, or you're the rightful ruler. It was one of those three.
Or that dragon.
I just took it as a joke, like a dog
or
watching.
It could just be funny.
No, I think it means that camera sat on him for a good 5-6 seconds, where they wanted you to see that dragon was looking at him.
It probably has a soft spot for him because he is a Targaryen, but
maybe he just knows he's a Targaryen.
No.
Maybe the dragon knows the truth that he can fly.
We can talk about conspiracy theories all day. Why were the dragons cool with Tyrion when he went into the tombs? Is he a Targaryen? He's the third person in the show that the dragons have ever been cool with, and he's been able to touch.
Yeah.
Did Tyrion touch the dragon?
He petted him on the nose, and then he took the chains off. Is he a
maybe
Targaryen?
just anyone can write
It might
him.
just be that they have a good sense of, oh, you're a good person.
In the books, wildly suggests that he is a bastard of the Mad King. Wildly suggested. multiple times from
Okay.
multiple different people.
But I think
But they've never touched on that in the shows besides that one scene.
So I mean, I don't think
At
that's.
this point, if
I
they were to
don't
pull it out
think.
now,
that would be cheap.
Right,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I don't think the series can make two different people now all of a sudden Targaryens.
Yeah,
They're obviously going down that road with Jon Snow.
The issue
So I don't think
with
they're going to
those-
go down
the
that
issue
road
with
with
these is
Tyrion.
when you start getting into Targaryen bonds with dragons, it's like if Jon's a Targaryen, why was he burned by fire? And I think it was like season 1, but
No.
Daenerys is impenetrable by fire. He
He's
was.
not
I'm pretty sure.
full-blooded.
I think it was like season 1. Like, one of that he was burned by fire.
He's
yeah.
half Stark, so maybe he's not 100%.
He's not 100%.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
that's
not.
the
He's not
thing, he's
Stark
not
anymore because
Daenerys
he was
is half
dead.
Martell by that standard, or half.
Oh, that's true.
He was
Right.
because
Yeah, Martell.
whatever Stark he had in him is probably not there anymore because he was a corpse for a bit, and
That's
now
also
he's
another
Maybe.
thing. That's
Like,
also another
yeah.
thing.
I don't understand that point. What does that mean?
That's another thing that I hope they touch on at some point in the season, but I don't know if they're gonna because they don't have time. But
Yeah,
no one
I mean-
questions the fact that he died,
Yeah,
and there's been no implications of it.
They
Well,
mention
that's
it.
kind of
Everyone
a
brings up
common
like,
thing.
"Weren't you dead?" And he goes, goes, "I was," and then they
It's
move
been
on.
seen
It's like,
before.
Yeah.
With people getting
But
resurrected
he obviously
by
doesn't
the
like.
Red
The one time
Priest.
Davros mentioned it, he turned and he turned and looked at it, like told him to stop talking about that. Like he wasn't happy that he was mentioned that he came back from the dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
But
and
I-
then Barrack brought it up when they were beyond the wall, and he was not really that conversation.
But
Yeah,
but
Barrack
what
brought
Dave
it.
said, if he
But
died,
Barrack said multiple times, season 3 and season 4,
Yeah.
that you lose something when that happens. You
Yeah.
always lose a piece of you.
Well,
you
even
die,
if not,
You always lose a piece of you somehow. A piece gets chipped, stuff gets chipped away.
so maybe he was a Stark,
He
and then
lost
when he
his high
died, now
score
he's
in
back.
Pac-Man.
Maybe he's
maybe,
Targaryen.
but I mean,
I
like
don't know.
even like Daenerys' brother, whose name I forget, but like you
Viserys.
know, yeah, he died by molten gold, but you know, by heat.
It's not fire, though.
Yeah, but I
He
mean,
died
it's
by heat.
still.
Well,
you know,
his
someone
head
like-
got
I had
fried.
always interpreted
So
that
I'm-
as
Or did he
he was a
asphyxiate?
bastard.
scene. That was a
When
wet
she
scene.
kept, when she said
Like,
he's not a
think so.
dragon,
melted gold.
I
on
had
his head.
assumed that had meant Viserys was a bastard.
So
True.
He wasn't actually the Mad
That's.
King.
I mean,
he wasn't actually a true Targaryen.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
the fact that
I
Jon
had
Snow
al-
came
I'm
back to life.
I'm just saying,
is the
if
fact
Jon was
that
hurt
he
by
can-
fire, it doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
fine to
I'm
move
just saying
on.
the rules of these is so
but
fluid
the
that
thing
it's like
is-
you can't look at it and deem it a certain
Well,
way.
let me throw it this way: if Daenerys, can go through fire and live, well, if Jon Snow dies from fire, he can just come back to life. So at the end of the day, isn't it the same thing?
He said he'll never be revived again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean he
And
can't
cut
be revived
ties with
again.
that chick.
Doesn't mean he can't.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't want to.
That's true too.
he didn't want to be king either, or king of the North.
He doesn't want a
Yeah.
lot of things.
There
that
he
end up coming
was.
true.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that he ends up doing that he didn't want in the first place.
A lot of things.
You mentioned
wildling
the whole
girl.
like everyone kind of like, oh, you died. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. There's also, oh, Bran, you're creepy as hell. Okay, and like everyone just has to come to terms with the fact that Bran stares into your soul.
Let's talk about Bran for a little bit. What the hell is going
They
on?
left
here?
him in that courtyard for a week. That's why he was always there.
I think the only
That's
time
No,
we
he was
laughed.
waiting for a friend.
The
No,
only time
nope,
we
they
laughed
forgot him.
when we were all watching it, the only time we laughed is when anytime they showed Bran, he's like just all of a sudden just
Oh my
sitting in
God,
this
that
random
first
area.
time that Tyrion looks down and he's just, oh my God! I started dying laughing.
I mean,
Tyrion's just like,
because the problem is we also do that to each other. Like as a that's something we do where you turn around and suddenly like one of us out of the store going like and so of course that's hysterical. But there's the whole fact that like Bran, a la Doctor Strange to the crossing over to the other stuff, like he definitely knows what the next 6 moves are, and is just not going to say anything because that's boring.
Yeah,
and
well,
also,
like,
He can see- can
but
he see
that's
into the
super
future or no?
frustrating. I think he can see potential
he
future.
can't see the future.
No.
Because
No, he
last
can see the
season he
past
was
and
like,
time
when he
going.
saw Arya, he's like, I'm surprised. I thought you were going to go to King's Landing, which was the implication that he can't really see the future. He can only
Right.
see present and kind
Which
of
would make
Yeah,
sense.
and make
He sees
educated
it.
guesses.
And
Yeah.
if he could see the future, he could just easily beat the Night King.
He can see the present and
But
see.
there's also-
oh, Jamie's working his way north. Well, I
Yeah.
can guess where he's going.
Yeah. And he guesses when he's going to get there, which
Yeah.
is why he's sitting there all day long.
So let's
can he get the Infinity Stone?
Well, I just like beginning of the episode. Bran's like, no, we gotta hurry. We don't have any time for this. End of the episode. Oh, buddy, I got time for this.
Need a hand there, John?
hey, I could use a push.
He literally said we don't have time for this, and the whole episode was them having time for that, pretty much.
Yeah, so he was like, hey, we need to go, but then doesn't actually confer with anyone to say what we should try to do, what is going on. And that was a little frustrating. Yes, narratively, they can't have a crystal ball to know everything. But it was a little frustrating that Bran felt a little
Let's
underused.
talk about Bran a little bit. Where do we think this three-eye raven feature that he has, ability that he has, where is that going to bring us this season?
Do you think he was staring at Tyrion because he knew Tyrion was up to something?
Yeah,
You never knew how he ended that meeting with Cersei.
What would he know?
She was pregnant.
But what would... See, do you remember, he can see everything in the past. Why would he be looking... Did Tyrion do something that betrayed
might
Bran?
have
He's standing there.
That he would know the
because
truth?
he's literally in Winterfell wearing the Hand of the Kingpin, and I bet Bran's like,
So he may have
No, I
planned
think
to do
there's
something
something
greasy
to do
with
with
Cersei.
that. That Tyrion's doing something greasy with Cersei. There was chatter about that after last season.
They
So
hadn't,
long ago. I can't remember what people were suggesting with that, but
Are they still technically married?
She may have been lying about him being pregnant, and he might have been
Oh.
stupid, or they may have just had a plan for.
But
maybe,
could you argue that technically... No, she officially married the Bolton guy, right?
who are you talking about? You talking about Sansa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm making sure they're technically still not married. She technically married Bolton.
Oh, okay.
She married Tyrion.
Never, whatever they call that, their word of...
Yeah, it wasn't consummated.
Yeah.
And then was, more or less married to Ramsay.
That was graphically consummated.
Yes, quite so. So,
I've never been so happy to see a guy get roasted. The Bolton guy.
That was
Jon Snow comes in and gets him right in the throat with a shield. He's down on the ground.
pardon my French, fuck you, Ramsay Bolton. You
All
got
right.
everything.
I mean,
you
I think he
deserve.
was an You know what? You needed a character like that in the series, though. You know what I mean? Like, you needed that wacko
You have
type.
so many scumbags in the kingdom.
There are, and there are still plenty left.
Oh,
They're not
and
just
they're
like
all in
the High and Mighty.
Winterfell. Besides,
No, Greyjoy. Euron, is it? Euron Greyjoy?
Yes.
Oh God, there's
He's
a
gonna catch
scumbag.
something real
He got
bad.
to
Oh,
smash
God.
this week.
can we just say all the Greyjoys are scumbags? The one character I can't
All the
stand
Greyjoys.
besides
And Theon
besides that
You mean Reese?
Pycelle, what's his name?
Pycelle?
Pycelle, who
Yeah.
finally, that guy, that old geezer who would sit there and go, "You should be apologizing to the king." I cannot
Yeah.
stand that
He's a
guy.
piece of shit.
I'm glad he got brought out into the woodshed and he's gone. Okay, but Theon Greyjoy, excuse my French, is nothing but a bitch. A little bitch. That's all he does. He cries about everything. He whines. He doesn't do anything right. I mean, really? Are we gonna sit here and didn't pretend like he didn't look at his sister and then run off the boat and into the water? Like, seriously?
That's
That
a
was
classic
the
meme
mo-
of him jumping off.
That
and
was
jumping back. You ever
so
see that?
good.
It's like, they're playing music. Dun, dun, dun.
6 seconds into the battle that they'd been talking about and they knew it was coming, and he literally is like, out.
I mean, forget what happened to him with Bolton and everything, but he's sitting there and has the chance to save his sister, and he runs off the boat? I mean, like...
I have my
literally did
theories
the
about the
Vine leap.
overarching, but I don't know what happens with
And then he
him
just
before.
appears.
See, he's
out of
a
nowhere and
wild
saves
card.
her.
I don't know
Like,
what
he
his deal
does
is.
big things.
I have to imagine he somehow sacrifices
He's-
himself for the
he's
Starks.
probably-
But I don't know.
He's
what-
gonna
Here's the
die.
thing,
He's a small character
I
in
can
the
see him
game.
trying to sacrifice himself, but somehow screwing things up even
He's
more.
not a small character though. He's,
So,
he's
no, he's not.
a lot of
He's
time
not.
devoted to him. I don't know what his end game is.
Like,
but I keep saying that.
He's
but,
going
I
to
mean,
try
it's
to
the best
make
end
like
game.
some sort of noble sacrifice to try to finally make
Yeah,
something of
I-
himself,
yeah.
but it's going to make it worse for everybody.
But I'm trying.
Actually, that would be great. That would be a great ending to that's the way his character is. Him somehow trying to save like the world, and he screws it up right when he dies, and it just
Like,
doesn't.
I love him trying to do the redemption arc and it just dropping flat each time. And I would almost feel like to let him actually do something good, like if he sacrifices himself and actually helps, it would be like letting Charlie Brown kick the football. You don't do that. You don't let it happen. He needs to fly through the air and fall on his ass each time.
So So moving on from the Greyjoys, let's move on to House Lannister. Okay, what's going on with these three? Because we really haven't talked about any of them tonight so far. Cersei, we haven't talked about Jaime. We've only talked about Tyrion a little bit. What's going on with the main house Lannister? The villains of the series, as I would probably say. You have Cersei,
just
who's
one.
down. The only one really, the only main character down in King's Landing besides Euron Greyjoy. But you have Jaime, who just arrived in Winterfell and came face to face with Bran. And then you have Tyrion. So where does it go from here with the three? Well, where do we think we're going with these three? I mean, what is you have? You have Jaime, who's now seems to be in. He wants to help fight the Night Walker or
he
all
wants
the
to
White
fight
Walker
the
and all
Night
that. You have Tyrion, who, for all we know, is just trying to get on the throne because he's not going to go out there and fight. And then you have Cersei, who we know what her objective is. So where do we have these three going?
I think Tyrion's more likely to do a sacrifice that means something. Like, he's been kicked a lot lately.
You say Tyrion?
Yes. And like, he's been humbled a hell of a lot. I forget, I think there was some sort of conversation that was along the lines of, I used to think you were the smartest person I knew. Or Sansa said something that, like, I used to think something flattering of you, but obviously I don't anymore. Yeah. And you could kind of see him looking around, and from where he had stood 7 seasons ago, and just like replaying everything and how far he's fallen since then. Because I mean, like, he wasn't that high up at the start of the series, but he was a Lannister still,
right?
And now just,
I think Tyrion's probably gonna try to get like allied with Cersei again. Like, I think that's what went down in that meeting. Personally,
you think he's gonna backstab Daenerys?
I think so. I think he wants the House Lannister to get back together. I mean, with all the people, like how he said it doesn't make sense. I thought you were the smartest person. And so there's something going on with that they're going to.
But he's been making bad decisions since season 5.
Tyrion?
I think he should believe her.
He's made terrible decisions since season 5. Getting caught by Jorah, trying to do some weird negotiation with slave cities, the horrible decision to go catch a white out. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Could you argue that the roles could be changed between Tyrion and Jaime? Tyrion now becomes that evil side with Cersei, and Jaime becomes the other side trying to help. He seems to be done.
Feeds into my larger theory that I'll expand, that I'll talk about. Rewind, but I think next episode, Daenerys immediately wants to kill Jaime immediately. She's not willing to reason with it at all. Mm-hmm. He gets thrown. Ultimately, maybe they compromise on putting him in jail, and that is when Tyrion decides to, I'm done with Daenerys. She's absurd, and he goes and frees Jaime like he did for Tyrion.
Yeah,
something along those lines, roughly.
I don't think I agree with you. I think they're going to try. I think she's going to try to kill him first.
I mean, Bran is immediately going to forgive Jaime immediately.
I think he's going to forgive him.
And everyone in the Starks and elsewhere are going to be like, all right, if Bran is cool with it, then whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
But Daenerys, who doesn't know Bran, is going to be like, I don't care what this kid's saying. He killed my dad. I mean, it's simple as that. I want to burn him with dragonfire. It's simple. That's where it's gonna start a conflict, and Tyrion's gonna be like, "No, you're not gonna kill my brother."
I think what's gonna be weird. I don't know what the word is, but to kind of go off what you said, I think somehow they're gonna end up making Daenerys, who went in as in wrestling terms, the face, the heel, and they're gonna turn her into the heel by the end of the season, where she has that attitude that if this is her being good, it keeps slowly turning to the opposite side of being that mean.
She's had that attitude, but it's never been directly contrasted head-to-head with any of these other people. She's always been her own storyline until just this last
I think
season.
she's the Mad Queen. She's related to the Mad King. I think she has that in her blood.
I don't think that she's evil.
But she has her own ambitions.
He went crazy.
She was burning people alive and strangling Starks, and he was going crazy.
She has her own sense of justice, but if you get in her way, you are going to burn.
He did.
Note from Flip Juice, don't forget that Cersei wants Jaime and Tyrion dead because she gave Bronn the bow, like that poetic justice.
True. Yeah.
Like, even if Tyrion is like, oh hey Cersei, you should totally
I don't know what happens with Cersei. I'm assuming she dies.
Raise of hands. Who thinks Cersei dies?
I think she dies in like episode 4 or 5.
You think so? They're gonna get rid of that quick?
No, it could be the ultimate twist and have her win though.
I think she's gonna make it to the last episode. I don't know.
I think
how.
She dies.
We all think she dies.
I think for
but
sure.
She's also in King's Landing.
Everyone
it's gonna
wants
take a
to
while
see
for the Night King to get down there if that's who she.
Well, I heard another theory. Was it you who was saying that?
What?
Or you that that the Night King could actually attack King's Landing
That's been the long-standing theory.
Because no one's
they
there.
They have 2 million people there, and if he goes and attacks, that's all fuel for his army. But that's been like a theory for years.
If he does that, then you could see.
And all the troops are in Winterfell, going to probably be easier.
There are a lot of ships in the air in King's Landing. I don't think that's going to be. Certainly not episode 2 or 3.
Well, the only reason why I believe that storyline is it's clear to me.
All just get on the ships. And
they can't. Whites can't swim.
Yeah.
So it's kind of clear to me that Winterfell is becoming the main setting of the season.
Yep.
But you can tell based off the way they have the set set up and where they're talking. That area is the main. Yeah. So I think eventually Cersei is going to make her way to Winterfell, some way or somehow.
They're prepping us for the battle.
I think a decent guess is that at the end of episode 2, Night King and a bunch of whites are shown advancing on King's Landing.
I said.
And Cersei with whomever, gets out and has to go up to Winterfell.
Now remember, they got rid of the whole, basically, the time lapse thing. So at this point, she could be in King's Landing end of season 2, or episode 2, in the beginning of season 3, she's in Winterfell already. They got rid of that whole time. It takes a while to get from place to place.
But I can see them modifying the intro too. If the Night King takes over King's Landing by the end of episode 3, episodes 4, 5, and 6 show the same animations but with icicles and crap everywhere.
I think they're gonna go crazy with the intro. I think it's they quick dropped a note. Lord Glover retreated back to Mo Caitlin. They quick drop that in there.
Yeah.
That serves no other purpose than to say probably next episode we're going to see the Night King attack there, and in the intro, it's not Mo Caitlin.
Which one's Glover again?
He's the guy who was like, I'll regret to my last day not fighting with you at the Battle of the Bastards.
He was the one that was with Robb Stark for a while.
No. He was the one he was one of the two that declared him king of the North.
The one with the beard, right?
No, the other one. He's bald with a beard. And he's like, I'll regret to my last day not fighting with you. A man can only apologize and ask for forgiveness. Okay. Remember that?
So we
moving on. He retreated, which I think in the intro next week we'll see Deepwood Moat and we'll see the Night King.
Moving on, well, real quick before we end up with the Lannisters, because I want to get back to the North in a minute. Before we move on to the Lannisters, what's going on with the baby with Cersei? I mean, do we think she's really pregnant? I mean, she's drinking wine like no one would have believed. And last time I knew, I don't know if they believe in that back in those days that you're not allowed to drink wine with a kid. But do we really?
I didn't even really. But they probably don't know that.
She's drinking a lot of wine.
I don't think
she probably just drinks wine.
Tyrion says she's pregnant. Remember,
tell her not to. Seriously.
I still go back to that exchange between Tyrion and Cersei where he goes, "You're pregnant," and she pauses for a while, like she almost didn't know she was pregnant, and then says, "Yeah," and it just seems like that whole storyline's a little weird. I don't know if I can.
Well, no, but I mean, in that scene. It's either she knew or she wanted to give him that impression because she was making a lot of those, subconscious cues of very much, where the hand is placed and whatever to make sure that he noticed and came to that conclusion on his own. So she either knows that she is or is putting.
Could that at all play into alliance between Cersei and Tyrion at all?
He feels bad for the kids.
Yeah,
all 3 of them died and he got blamed for some. But
Cersei still wants him
feel
dead.
bad about how
so
Joffrey
she might
died.
have guilted him into something, but I don't know.
Can I just say, I haven't seen you since our wedding. That was an awful day. It had its moments.
That way all 3 of my kids are dead.
I'm a stone cold believer in that Maggie the Frog prophecy at the beginning of season 5 where it said she only has 3 kids.
No.
And they all die. I'm just a stone cold believer in this. So if she has a kid, if not, whatever happens, it's not going to be born.
All right, so
I mean that's my stance.
Let's move on from the Lannisters and let's talk a little bit about all the houses up in the North and the King. They keep making it a big thing that Jon Snow is no longer King of the North.
Yeah, Lyanna Mormont is doing awesome.
Do we feel like there could be a betrayal? Do you feel like
I do not like her.
Who? The little girl that runs her mouth?
She's just mean all the time, and everyone takes it on the chin. It's absurd.
The little girl that
she's 10 years old, and she's always mean to people.
Because
I love
she has 20 times the chutzpah of any of the other lords in there.
She's just mean all the time. Someone needs to be like, "You're 10 years old. Relax." Okay? Everyone's just like, "Thank you, my lady." Whenever she shits on him, it's just like absurd.
Well, because they were basically
while the lady's
sitting
honest, I appreciate her.
Anyone else says
they're
that
all
they
being cowards
get
before
killed.
she would step up and do anything.
Doesn't she have a big ass army?
Oh yeah.
No, she has 40
She has,
swords
remember?
by her side.
Okay.
When Jon
Yeah,
goes
it
and
was a
recruits
lot.
her, she's like, "We have 61 fighting.
Remember, they make
It's
it
like,
they make it an awkward moment where
whatever,
she goes,
yeah.
"We will give you our forces. We have 42 men," and they're all like,
She did stand loyal with him, though.
She
Yeah,
did.
she did.
That's why she gets some say.
Because she believes in the North, and she was loyal to him when he
I
represented
don't like
the
how
North.
she's always mean. Always mean.
But they keep showing her in a lot of scenes. So I have a feeling she has another story coming down the road.
Well, first
They
off,
keep
her meeting
showing her.
Jorah Mormont, because that's the
Yeah,
same
I
house
thought
right
about
there.
that. I'm surprised
That's
they
a
didn't
reunion
include
that
that,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I kind of wish I'd seen how that went down. Because he was exiled from the house for some reason or another. I don't remember. It's
So
before the
Someone
show.
will bring that up.
Ned Stark gave me
Right, yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if they're seeing Daenerys as queen, she probably pardoned him. But
Well, yes, but
for Jorah, I'm just saying, I was surprised no one
but
jammed him
Lyanna
up.
doesn't
No.
recognize.
Well, Robert pardoned him.
Oh, he did.
That's
pardon
why
him.
Daenerys kicked him out of her service, because
Oh, yeah.
Tywin
you're
sent
right,
it
yeah.
to Barristan. Barristan
I
read it.
forgot
Like, what
about
the
that
fuck
book.
is this? And then he gave it to Daenerys, and Daenerys was like, "Adios, amigo."
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Starks. Where we have Sansa doing. I mean, she obviously doesn't like Daenerys. I think that was
She's
the whole key
boring.
point of the first season.
I despise Sansa as a character.
I think she's just
She
boring.
is a horrible character.
So
love
what do we?
Sansa.
Where do we? Do you think she's gonna? She's got to pick between. I don't know. I could see her siding with Cersei over
Oh God, no.
Daenerys.
No.
She doesn't
They
like
always have a
Daenerys.
soft spot for each
Yeah,
other.
and
No.
even
Yeah.
John said that when she was describing Sansa. John goes, "It sounds like you kind of admire her."
She does. First
Yeah,
of all, we can
at
agree
which
she
point
does not
she
like.
just had the look of like no,
I-
because
yeah.
she is going to do her own thing, and she has also taken advisors, and disposed of them when it was expedient to do so. Lord Baelish. But like she has had a great arc from being this naive little girl to being this badass.
I disagree.
I love
disagree.
what Sansa has become.
Everyone keeps saying she's so clever, but no one is able to say why she's clever. I don't understand.
more than anyone
Like
else.
Arya says she's so clever, but since Arya has returned to Winterfell, I don't know what Sansa has done that's been clever.
She saved Jon. Dude, to see.
But Littlefinger had already planned to help Jon in the North. He convinced Robb and Aaron to help the North in season 6, episode 1.
Yeah, like to his own
Before
end.
Sansa had ever even
So-
asked for help.
And like Sansa saw through Littlefinger like that.
No, it's
she
because
played Littlefinger like
Bran sees everything, and he told her exactly what had happened.
I think to be. I do
She
think.
completely had full trust in Littlefinger for
No.
7 seasons up until when
She was
Bran came
starting to
back.
get ready to kill Arya until Bran broke it down.
Like, remember when Brienne met up with Littlefinger and Sansa, and Brienne was like, "Come with me, please," and she was like, "No, I'm staying with Littlefinger."
I will say though, I do think
She's
lot
a
of
fool, and like
storylines,
everyone keeps saying she's a
has
mastermind. I don't
Brienne's
see it.
ability impacting the storyline. They just don't explain it. Like that whole Littlefinger thing. That was nothing more than Bran giving them all the information. Because you can see all the.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they don't really show that meeting going on where he's telling them about it. But
How much did that have to suck, by the way, being one of the most clever people in the room, and then literally a force of like an intangible force, literally foils everything you have done your entire existence up till that point,
I love that scene.
and he got so pooped on because something that he cannot plan for, the only thing he couldn't plan for, happened.
I love that scene where Bran goes, "And what about you holding the knife to my father?" and saying you should.
I mean,
and the way Littlefinger turns and looks at him, and only 2 people were in that room.
He
And
said, he's like, no one was in that room, and he's like, you held the knife up to his throat and said you should have never trusted me. Sansa breaking it down to him was very wet, that scene, but I don't see why she deserves
can we laugh
credit
at the
for that.
irony though that Littlefinger, out of all the people that are in Winterfell right now, Littlefinger was the only one there. End of season 7 was the only one there with the Starks. He dies,
Corpse.
and then the next episode,
Everyone else
Varys and all these other
yeah.
people are all there, and no mention of Littlefinger. He's just gone.
Yeah, you know
Littlefinger,
why?
who dealt with
Because
all
none
these.
of them liked
But
Littlefinger
the-
anyway.
but
That's
the-
why he
what I'm
was
saying is
alone.
The funny part is Littlefinger almost
Exactly.
Littlefinger almost dealt with every single one of those people that came into Winterfell,
Yeah.
and it's just he just died a couple days ago, and he's out
I'm
of
pretty
here.
sure. I'm pretty sure when Varys found out that Littlefinger was dead, he probably did. He was like, "Where is he buried?" And he was probably like,
Oh
But
my
I'm
god.
surprised that there's
on
no.
his grave.
Like, yeah,
Dakota me with a teabag the grave.
I would have appreciated if everyone wants to think Sansa's a mastermind and clever and straight. I would have appreciated a scene where she tells Jon, "Yeah, I fucking killed him," and and move on. And Jon's just like, "Oh, well, okay."
But I would love. Don't you think the various? I know I'm saying it wrong. Don't you think there should have been a moment where he realized that Littlefinger's dead? Don't you think that's important to put in the show a little bit?
I think
Jon,
HBO just rushed to cut him out because I think a larger grand scheme in the scheme of the show with how it was.
I mean, Littlefinger dying was the end of more or less of that arc. Would it have been nice for
conspiracy theories?
Would it have been nice for each of the characters to know? Yeah, but I don't think that that's something that we need to see on screen. No, and I'm gonna say it, and then I'll be done with it. I like Sansa. I think that she's the most the biggest representation of the North now that Jon has kind of gone Team Daenerys. Unless he changes his mind, which I'm about 50-50 on whether he actually does it.
He got to ride a dragon, he's in.
Right? And Sansa is 100% Team the North. And she's going to keep a lot of support for that if it turns into a Stark Targaryen slugging match.
Tom, you know what really helped her, though? She did one thing this season and kind of last season that she had never done seasons before. Just not talk.
Just shut up.
Yeah. Because every other season, and from the first time you met her, she was like, man, this. She was a kid, don't get me wrong. But, like, just open mouth and spewing out crap, and now she's not talking, and everyone's like, oh, she's a mastermind. It's like, no, she's not spewing the crap, the first thing that comes out of her head. Like,
yeah, she shuts up.
That means she's becoming a better leader.
She is. She's learning, and she hasn't, like, messed up. Which is
I would say she's a survivor. That's
she's
the most credit
she's a survivor.
I'd give her.
As she's learning, she's
the
mentally
only reason she has
okay.
experience is because she continually
Yes.
makes mistakes.
As
She's
she's
just
learning,
over and over again.
And for some
I
reason
don't
doesn't get
understand
killed
why that
by
makes her a
everybody else.
mastermind.
She doesn't make the same mistake. After the first couple of seasons,
she makes a lot of mistakes.
She makes
after
a
the first
lot
couple
of
seasons, she
mistakes.
hasn't made the same mistake twice. She learns from her, admittedly, very many mistakes. And she is making fewer mistakes as she goes on, which is more than I can say for a fair amount of the leaders in the show right now.
I like her whole story arc from season 1 to season 4. After that, it just goes completely off the rails.
So let's talk about
Why she decided to be okay marrying Ramsay is just something
I don't think she had a
understand.
choice.
No, I disagree. She had a choice.
Said, "I'll take you back to the Vale immediately if you don't want to do that."
She had a choice. But I mean, the way they talk about her, it's almost like she planned all. She didn't plan all that. It's almost like
to get her into
the way she goes, you're a survivor. She's like she's planned.
No, she was
that.
still someone else's pawn at that
Right.
point. She wasn't a leader. She wasn't a planner. She really, I mean, like, as much as it was presented to her as a choice, she didn't have a choice.
Can we appreciate
I
that
want
the
to like
Starks-
Sansa, so I hope in the future episodes they make her cooler. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Can we appreciate that the Starks are used as pawns by literally everybody else, except for literally Ramsay's just like, by the way, I have another Stark. Now I don't. Like, he's the only one, and that's why he died the way he did. Like, everyone else uses Starks for moves. Like,
because they're dumb and proud, basically.
The Starks are used as chess pieces by everyone else, and Ramsay's just like checkers.
But I think the day of the Starks being on top are coming. Where I
They
think
haven't
at the
been
end
on
of
top for a long time. What are you talking about?
Well,
They got
they've been
smashed around all
nothing
so
but
long.
shit on all for the whole
okay.
series.
You
You
said
know?
their
they
time
haven't.
is coming. To
Yeah.
He
They've
didn't
been
say coming
shit
back.
on.
He didn't say coming back. He said coming.
So let's talk about the little characters. Let's talk about all the advisors that are there. Where do we see going on, like the Davros and the Jorah and the two that work with Daenerys? I always forget their names.
Missandei and Grey Worm.
Yes, those. We have a tier. We have a lot of advisors hanging out at Winterfell. What are their roles going to be this season? What do you think goes on here?
I don't.
it's
I
gonna
gotta
come
imagine
King's
one of
Landing
them's
and
gonna have a
6 people are
major
gonna
role.
get killed in one dinner.
I don't.
Varys has
With the
some.
condensed episodes, I don't even think it's worth time looking into it because
Yeah,
who knows what's going to happen.
I
with those.
agree.
I don't think the overarching story is really applying.
I think they're going to be accessories to whatever their leader is going to be doing. I don't, and I guess it's worth asking. Do you think that any of these advisors are going to turn against their leader?
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that question.
Are they going to do anything other than what's expected of them.
Out of all, let me take that. Out of all those people, which one makes the biggest move? Makes the biggest move either against their leader, or for the leaders. Who's it?
I'd say Tyrion.
Second, that
maybe,
Tyrion.
and then after that, probably Varys.
Because he has been
Davos isn't going to betray anyone. Missandei.
Davos.
I like him.
Yeah.
Like, is Grey Worm going to live or die? I mean,
I don't know. I'm not
toss.
too worried about one way or the other. I don't have a horse in that race, but yeah, I mean, I think
you know who my favorite character is? Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne.
My favorite character, and I can't even say your name right.
I can't say any of the names.
The one played by Gwendolyn Christie, who could beat me up with her finger.
All right, so now that we kind of reviewed the episode, let's go through a bunch of questions here. Out of all the characters,
working now?
yes, I kind of memorized most of it. Out of all the characters, who is the next to die? Out of all of them,
Sam.
You think Sam?
Sam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
and your reasoning for that?
It'll have the most impact as of episode 2. I think that he was a vehicle, and storyline and structure-wise, there's a lot of loose ends for him, but it's a lot of personal loose ends. Well, he's mad about his family getting killed, but if he's dead, he's also dead. I think that he's moved himself. Jon's probably going to be a little bit weary of protecting him. Daenerys doesn't want him around, and everyone in the North is going to go, weren't you supposed to be at the wall protecting us from this stuff? Like, couldn't we have used you there, and now you're here? Like, so I think he's running quickly out of people that are willing to stand by him, because he still hasn't shown the fact that he stole the sword and never used it. He hasn't shown the fact that he's still going to stand up on his own per se.
He's one of two people that knows Jon Snow's true heritage, the other being Bran. And Sam is the one that personally made those links. So with him taken out of the picture, that could be a political power play by Daenerys to keep Jon out of the way.
Who do you have?
Not Sam. I disagree with that. Just because the theory is that the story's being told from the book he wrote at the end of the whole thing. God damn,
that'd be awesome!
That's right, I had heard that.
It's tough. I almost could see them going to King's Landing and Cersei already dying next episode, but
I
don't have any idea where it's going now.
You want me to go?
Cersei,
What do you think?
I would say Euron Greyjoy.
Is that your pick?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I love the Sam one, because I don't think that's going to happen. If that were to happen, that would be great.
That's the dark horse.
I think if anyone doesn't die and everyone else dies, the one who stays alive is Sam.
No, I'll say it out loud. I don't want him to die.
I like Sam.
I like Sam. I really like Sam.
I also know that Game of Thrones love to find the person you love the most, and he's pretty much the last person in the line of people that hasn't crapped on everybody and is going to catch a knife in the face.
I think the Night Watch commander, Ed, goes next.
Wow! I love Ed.
As you mentioned, they needed 1,000
in that false raid thing.
I love Ed.
I think he's going that. I think they got to show them attacking the night or the wall. I think who's the other guy that's with him? Is he still with him? The Wildlings commander, the guy with the orange hair.
Tormund? No.
Yeah.
Is he in Winterfell?
No.
Or was he at the wall?
Tormund was in that last scene.
Tormund was at the last scene with the kid.
They're heading to Winterfell though.
They're heading.
Yeah.
He's with.
They're retreating back from the army.
But
Ed is with them.
Ed is with them.
I've always had blue eyes. That was when I think that might have been the
Oh, we didn't
If
talk
you remember,
about
they
that.
were separate.
We're gonna go
That's
back
when
to
they
that. What
met.
that meant, the fire. We didn't even talk about that. What that was.
Whose sigil could that have looked like?
So let's stop what I was just talking about. Let's go back. We skipped that whole part.
Yeah, because that's what. Like, I immediately was like, that's what it. Because I was like, that looks way.
Are you sure that's what it means?
A greasy germ dog hater, but that looks exactly like the Targaryen sigil. I don't know what. Does it not?
It does.
I'd have to look. I wasn't looking that close. I'm not going to try to look it up right now.
So let's go. Let's go over who left that. Was that from the Night Walk?
That's
what's left.
They've done those. They've done those crazy.
Yeah.
They did them with horse parts out by
so
the
So that's a Targaryen thing.
No, not the Targaryen.
The Night King is making those.
I know, but what is that symbol of?
It's just a spiral.
It doesn't
But
mean
now it's starting
anything.
to look more and
But
more
when,
like
when
the
you light it
Targaryen.
At the
on fire,
moment-
it kind of looks
Yeah.
like a Targaryen.
At the
symbol.
moment, it doesn't have significance, but he's doing it for a reason unbeknownst to us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one moment where I don't know if you watch. I know we watched.
Oh, God, that was fucking
when the
terrifying.
one guy, I forget who was talking in front of. Was it Ed? Or
Yes.
the-
Ed
the-
was standing
Tormund was
directly-
Tormund.
he was talking. And I don't know if you know it, Boder, but the child's eyes just opened up.
Yeah,
Like-
I noticed about midway through the shot. I'm like, okay, that is a. I don't buy it.
Come on.
No, I don't buy it.
What are
The
you
spirals are
meaning?
going the wrong way on the left
I mean,
side.
it's not identical.
Border, do you
No,
need to
it's
go
just
get the
an all
Targaryen
spike
symbol? We
spell.
have
They are trying to
Targaryen
make it out
hats
of
and
dead
wallets
bodies.
in
Well,
store.
Well, the thing
Put it
is
away.
that fire is like galaxy, like all of the spirals
similar.
going in the same direction.
missing the
The
outer ring.
Targaryen, like the
Could-
heads are going one
So
way.
are you
Could
saying
also
that
be
symbol is
that he's
Targaryen?
old
No, I'm saying
Targaryen.
it's not. I'm saying
Bad
it's.
king?
Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I disagree.
Like,
I'm
could
saying
he
it's
be
just
that
a
he's
spiral.
old
He's
Targaryen?
saying
I don't
it's
think. I don't
Targaryen.
think it actually has anything to do with Targaryen, but
I
I
don't-
just
I
think
don't-
it looks oddly similar.
I
to
think
the
it does.
sigil. I
And
don't
now that
think
you
so.
bring that up, I think the Night King is somehow a Targaryen. With the fact that he can fly a dragon.
The only thing that I would even consider is that the Night King started rising up when the Targaryens lost their rule.
I think
So maybe there's
somehow
some sort of unwritten rule that the Targaryens need to stay in power, fire, and ice.
my
will stay.
theory
Huh.
is
The Night King
somehow
started. There started to be reports when 19 years earlier Robert took the throne,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden people are seeing the Night King and White Walkers.
I think somehow
that's the only thing.
and I don't know the logistics
He's not the
behind
Mad
it.
King. Don't
I
even
think the
suggest
Night
it.
King is the Mad King.
and
I go
no way.
and I go by the
Just
fact that
checkers.
I go by the fact that only Targaryens can fly dragons, and even if it's a dead dragon, even if the dragon is dead,
I think if it's a
He just
dead
controls
dragon
anything.
reanimated
he kills and
by
brings back to life,
ice.
though.
Do they have that actually? This could the White Walkers don't have like sentient thought, do they?
No.
They're just
Maybe
they're-
the other ones, not the zombies.
Because
but-
I was gonna say, because I was gonna say that we were watching that whole army was literally just like we were pointed in this direction,
Yeah.
which would go to the idea of well, anyone could jump on one of those giants and go yeah, like if it's just gonna walk in whatever direction you point it in.
Yeah.
The
not
Night
even the
King's
White
not
Walkers.
Targaryen.
I think the White Walkers can think, right? They think.
yeah, the whites
wild-
are the zombies.
the white
zombies
donkeys
don't.
walk
But they
all
already
about.
they already
Yeah.
established that the guy who's the Night King was a first man. He wasn't an Andal, which is
Right.
what the Targaryens are.
Right.
That he's a novice thrones. Don't
Yeah.
I mean, although again with Game of Thrones, he's wrong right up until someone looks at him and goes, "You're them," and then suddenly we're all sitting there and Dan's going, "Ha ha," and we're all going, "Shut up, Dan! The episode's
When we
over."
were rewatching, he was throwing out theories, like in like season 2, 3, that were so wildly incorrect and not even close. It was appalling. I was like, Dan, wow.
Have you read the books?
No,
Have you read the books?
Like 20 pages of the first one.
Okay. Have you read?
No.
Have you read? The
I've done
books?
enough research to be semi-aware of what's going on.
Okay.
Why?
I personally have not. However, I have two friends that have, and they post like after each episode. They're like, "Well, it was this book from this chapter to this chapter, and here are the differences." And
Yeah, which was great up until.
yes,
Sunrise
right up
season.
until, and I did kind of like that I like that they officially announced,
You're on my terms now.
like they announced officially two separate separate stories. Don't look for too much significance in small actions and things.
Yeah.
I think that was a very smart idea, and I think it was kind of good that The Walking Dead did that as well, just to pitch that, because it's an intellectual property based upon another intellectual property, and
Yeah.
if they hadn't have done that,
But by
everyone would have been
saying,
holding
hey,
up their
this
comic
goes
books
this way,
going, well!
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool that they're doing that, and it keeps people excited for when the books do
Yeah, oh,
finally
yeah.
wrap up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's a story that hasn't been told yet. So.
Were we talking about the books?
Like I
No,
almost
just-
might
just
read
really
the
quick.
books when they ever.
I would say-
like
I
the fact
think-
that
I
they're two
think-
separate things.
I do
so.
like, you watch the series all the way through, then we can go and like read the book, because I think trying to do it concurrently would be very confusing.
Yeah.
and
All right, we
very
got a quick go here.
Okay, so I guess
Any comments?
the big question at the end of the series, if anybody is going to, who is going to sit on the Iron Throne?
I've said it from the beginning. Jon Snow.
I don't
My
think
boy.
anyone sounds familiar.
Sansa.
No, well, see, I wanted to just say that, But you know who I really think it's going to be? Through a lot of things that shouldn't happen, I think it's going to be Bran.
Huh.
I think Bran might be one of the few people left, because if everyone just keeps protecting him, everyone keeps getting stabbed for him. If no one else
I don't
is
think
there.
he would sit his butt on the throne.
No, he wouldn't. But
I mean,
he would,
if he's the last
one.
If he's the last one left, he would be like, well, the throne goes unsapped.
Yep. But I think that's going to be him.
If anyone,
I think if Jon and Dany both die, they're going to just dismantle the throne and do some sort of democratic fight.
I think that would be. I think that would be a slap in the face of everyone who watches Game of Thrones. The whole object of the show is who gets the throne. Making a committee just is making everyone happy.
For 8 seasons, it's been about who gets the throne. It hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
would either say Sansa or nobody.
Robert ruled on that fucking throne for 20 years.
I think it's going to be either. I'm torn.
Yeah, lest we forget that King Robert ruled, and there was no problem. There were no White Walkers. There was no army. There was none of this. The Targaryens were dead. Suddenly he's dead. There's Targaryens. There's White Walkers.
I'm torn between Sansa and Tyrion. I think one of those two are going to be.
I think both of them are going to be in, and they're going to be the ones who advocate for the throne. Neither one of them wants to be king or queen.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll
that's
agree
why
with that.
I think it's going to be Tyrion.
I don't think Sansa would sit on the Iron Throne. You're right.
Maybe Davos, Missandei will be in the mix. I think those people. None of those people are going to be. None of those people are going to want to be king or queen.
And then the whole rotation starts again, where someone's like,
if Dany and
because they're breaking the wheel. That's the whole thing.
If Dany and Jon don't make it to the throne, I agree. I think that they're going. I don't think the Seven Kingdoms will exist anymore. Sansa will be Queen of the North, and just of the North, and the North will be beholden to no one.
Yeah.
So a little off of who dies. We did that. Who dies this season? We kind of did that. Out of everyone, rather you hate them now, out of all the people on the show, who do you want to see get their ultimate demise this season? If there's one guy you can't stand throughout the 8 years, if there's one person you want to see get the axe,
I hope that Cersei Lannister's death is half as satisfying as Peter Baelish's was.
I'm rooting for Theon Greyjoy. I want to see that guy. I want to see him, the biggest coward in that entire show. I want to see him get hung or so. I want to see something. I want to see him get brought out to the woodshed and gone.
I don't really hate anyone. So
There's got to be someone you want to see done.
I even like Cersei, but I bet Cersei's death is going to be pretty absurd. So
I like them all. There's not anyone that I hate as a character, and I think it's a
anyone that I hate
show.
has
There's
already
ones
died.
that I'm like, these are villains, and I hope that they don't make it.
The only one I've really ever hated was Shay. And she died pretty absurdly. So I'm pretty satisfied with that.
Did you say one?
Brienne of Tarth.
You know she's going to go in a big battle scene.
She's dying for sure.
Like, who thinks better, her or Bronn in a battle 1v1?
She's probably good.
I think Arya proved that Brienne sucks at fighting speed, so I think Bronn will win.
Did you say who you want to see die?
Honestly, and it goes back to my thing, I kind of want to watch Sam eat it. Because I'd really rather see him... I do, but I'd rather see him die a hero than live to be one of these convoluted bullshit people who have outlived their usefulness.
What about Little Sam?
Yeah, where is Little Sam, by the way?
Where is Ghost?
Yep.
Where the F is Ghost?
Yes!
He's going to come in when he needs to come in, where he doesn't...
He hasn't been since the beginning of Season 6!
I'm sorry, they blew their budget on the dragons. Ghost can't hang out.
Well, no, they showed him in Season 7.
No, he hasn't!
No,
he hasn't been since the beginning of Season 6!
He was in like 2 shots of Season 7 to be like,
yeah,
you remember Ghost, right? Alright, cool, just making sure.
He was not shown in the Battle of the Bastards. He was not shown in anything through Season 7. It is wicked absurd.
Well, there's obviously a reason. They obviously know he's
they
there.
just can't. They don't want to pay the money for it. It's an absurd reason to not show him.
They're going to bring him back, then he's going to die.
You know who we haven't talked about at all is Bronn, Brienne of Tarth, or whatever.
She didn't even show up, did she?
She was there.
But more
she was there
importantly,
with the
we haven't
greeting
talked
party.
about the Hound or the Mountain. Where are these two gonna go?
The
I
Mountain's
can't
dead.
wait for their battle to happen.
not
Their
dead.
battle's gonna happen.
The mountain's dead.
Well,
there's
that's
a
an
corpse
episode
shambling
4 or
around, and it's his
5.
skin. But
what's
That's
going to
a
go on with this
slow
guy, the
burn.
Mountain? What do we think? Where is he going? The guy that's been this giant for what 4 or
He's just
5
a
seasons
tool.
now.
He's probably gonna die so that Cersei can escape King's Landing.
They gotta have. If you ask me, they gotta have the Hound and the Mountain fight. They've only been preaching it all for the entire series.
You know,
I'm gonna be the one that
You've
kills
always
you
known.
when they meet at the end of season 7. You'll be me one day. What did he say? What's the exact words he said to him? The Hound.
You know
I
who's
think I've
coming
sent it
for
to you a
you.
couple
You've
times
always
in
known.
fantasy shit talk terms.
Yes, you have.
What is he
Like
saying?
the next time I see you.
He's like, it's not how it ends for you, brother. You always know, or you know who's coming for you.
Exactly. So, do we not think those two are gonna meet up this season? I think they're gonna meet up. I think they're gonna be a showdown.
Yeah,
That's one of my most
I could
anticipated
see-
moments.
Again, if we're going with King's Landing falls to the Night King first, then Cersei escapes with what's left of the Mountain, and yeah, I could see that being a clash.
I'm
with the
correcting myself. I want to see the Mountain die. You killed my boy Oberyn.
You already saw the Mountain die. You got that
True.
satisfaction,
I wanna
and now
see-
he's
Yeah.
a shambling
The zombie.
corpse of himself. Like
And no one really knows what he is, right? They never really.
I hope
they
the
never,
Night King takes him over. That would be bad.
I hope someone just
They've
pops
done-
his helmet off.
they've
in the middle
done a
of the
really
fight.
good
And
job
then,
of that
and then
exact
the Hound
point,
still
Dan.
gets to kill him again.
Yes.
wait. Didn't they take his helmet off once?
When he was
They-
like,
Yes.
he was like in the
when he was
darkness,
torturing
but
that
they didn't really
religious
show
woman,
it.
It
Yeah.
was just some weird.
I just
That's- I wonder
love
if they're
that
gonna
though.
go back there and see.
No, those
I do
the
love
people
the-
down there are
They
done.
just make it
Adios.
I love that they continue to reference that. Everyone who saw the Mountain pre-armor and post-armor literally asked the question, what is he? And the answer is literally just 4 seconds of nodding in silence, and that's the only answer you get.
Can I throw out a
Like,
question?
That's
and see if
more or
anyone
less what
wants-
people get when they ask what Bran is now, too.
It's true. But again, magic is tough to describe to people.
Does anyone think the dead people in the crypts of Winterfell are going to have any role to play here?
Yes, I think
what
Ned
they're
Stark
saying.
comes back.
Everyone's saying
No! They can't bring Sean Bean back.
I think
That's not
Sean
how it
Bean comes
works.
back for a guest
They had a
appearance. One,
statue of him. And then last
he was at the
episode-
season 8 premiere. He came. They showed him. Sometimes you gotta think about that stuff. The actors who have died showing up for the premiere. You know, you never really know. I
Pretty
think
much everyone did.
Well, all that, like, Ned's body didn't even make it back to Winterfell, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah, eventually.
Littlefinger brought him back.
Okay.
Say
I
it
don't
would
know
be
if
a
his head was there.
skeleton.
I don't know what.
yeah.
I don't know what.
It took a long ass time, but his corpse.
But they did say one theory was his headless body comes back, and you can tell that it's him, but he just doesn't have the head. But I don't think I've ever seen.
It'd be really
Oh,
hard to
funny!
tell.
That's.
But I don't think we've ever seen one that doesn't have a head, so it doesn't make any
No,
sense.
and we haven't seen one that's starting out that decomposed.
Right.
Second part: are the faceless men going to have anything to do with this?
I
I
heard.
find it very hard to
think-
believe an international assassination group just lets Arya kill one of their people and then like.
What,
That
didn't
was
he?
always
Didn't
a
he
big
have a
hole
smirk
to
on his
me.
face when she did it?
Yes.
But
They're
still,
saying
I mean,
she earned it, basically.
She said, I think they say that they earned it, but I have heard where
I mean,
one theory is they come after her.
that group is just absurd in the books. There's talks of them having a dragon egg in the books. There's talks of them being the reason for the doom of Valyria in the books. There's like a ridiculous amount of buildup about them. I find it hard to believe they're just not going to have anything to do with
But
it.
the way I
They
take
guy
might
was
it,
not in the
introduced-
show. They might in the book because
yeah,
that's where the buildup is.
That's why
but
I
think
don't know
will.
if it's actually a thing.
I think they
don't-
will in 5 more episodes.
True.
Yeah, I don't know if.
I think the faceless man, or whatever his name is, Jacquar, or whatever it is, I think he was. I think he was.
Just stick with faceless man.
I
You're
think
safer there.
he had the smile on his face. I think that was like a look of
Yeah, but
accomplishment.
she stole a bunch of faces.
Maybe she's earned it. Maybe he earned it. Maybe she
No,
earned that.
don't earn it.
I
That
think she just
goes
learned
against-
how to make them.
But I thought the
Yeah,
rule was
that's
you
what
get
I
the
thought.
face
I
of
thought
the
she
person
stole
you kill.
faces. I don't know why.
I
I'm
thought
thinking
the
that,
rule
but
was
I
you
don't
get
have
the
evidence to
faces
back
of
it
the
up,
person
so
you
I don't
kill.
know.
I think she just
I
learned.
think
I do
she's
think they
stole
also
faces before she
exist
left.
in the structure that like organized crime, like, well, actually now I'm going to reference another pop culture thing of John Wick. You do this one thing and you're out, and no one's going to bother you. I mean, they do eventually bother you, but I think because she completed the circle, she did a lot of work for them, and then killed the guy that brought her in. So now she's cut ties.
She didn't
I
kill
think-
the guy.
Right.
Killed the girl.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think
that's
that
up for
because of
debate.
that,
That's
broke the rules at every turn.
True.
I don't know what she did for them. She didn't kill the one guy by the sea she was supposed to kill. She killed Maren Trant. She was supposed to kill that lady in the play, didn't kill her. And then she killed one of their own. And possibly stole faces. It's in the air. I don't know if she did.
She did do them pretty dirty overall.
There's a scene when she's leaving, and we can go back and like look to see if there's faces missing.
But like when she killed Walder Frey, she had that girl's face on. Did she kill that girl? Is that any better that she's going around killing people to take their faces?
Oh, she's.
When she made
we went on a bit of a tangent.
Was it a Frey girl that she killed?
I don't know.
She said she's going to kill them all.
Voter, any comments in chat?
True.
No.
But Frey didn't know that girl. She's like, what do you want, Jamie's girls?
Last question before we get into a special factor crap is, we'll talk more down the road as the season goes on what we think is happening. But if there's one big thing that you think happens this season, rather, not so much who gets on the throne, if you think there's one big thing that happens this season, storyline-wise, what do we think it is?
Dragon fight?
Oh, there better be a dragon fight.
The closest
I don't know.
thing to Dave's getting the Godzilla in Game of Thrones.
What about now?
I said that's the closest thing you're getting to Godzilla in Game of Thrones.
All that matters, people.
I don't know. I like the idea of King's Landing falling first, so I'm just gonna say that.
I think you're going to see, my theory is, I think you're going to see a huge battle between Jon Snow and Daenerys. I think that's going to be an epic battle. In fact, I almost think the battle with the Night King is almost over by mid-season, and the last episodes are more Daenerys and Jon Snow going at it. I'm not sure the Night King and the zombies make it all the way to the season finale. I think they're done mid-season.
I don't think so.
I was actually hoping the opposite. I hope they win, and what they are going for, all that stuff makes sense with like the little insignia. I hope they have like a greater good purpose to it or something like that.
I think the battle for the throne is the last 2 episodes without the Night King.
I think that the battle for the throne and the battle against the Night King and the White Walkers are inextricably linked. I think that all that is going to be resolved in the last episode.
Fair enough. I do think they're intertwined. The bigger battle is the Night King, but at the same time, while they're doing that, you have what's going on down the little guy.
Yeah.
But I have this weird feeling that the Night King will be done before the end of the season, and it becomes more about Daenerys and Jon Snow, if they even survive that.
I think, as much as it pains me personally and thematically to say, I think the Night King dies in episode 3. I think that's, as much as it pains me because it doesn't make sense. They've been building it up through the whole series.
No.
And then
opened up the show.
Everyone keeps talking about how crazy episode 3 is. It's 82 minutes. Battle of Winterfell. Night King versus Jon Snow. And I've always thought, well, what happens in episode 4, 5, and 6? And I thought of it after this episode, and I think ultimately it's Jon versus Dany. Episode 6 to end it. Dany, Drogon, Unsolid, Dothraki, the Red Army from Volantis versus Jon, Rhaegal, the Northerners, the Golden Company, and they clash.
Okay. Dave, Mike, what do you got? You already said yours. What do you think is going on?
I thought I said mine. I want the Night King to win, and then...
Oh, I didn't hear that. Maybe I wasn't listening.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Rude. Don't worry.
Rude. All right.
I really hope I'm wrong though, because I have.
I kind of feel with Tom. I don't think the Night King's gonna make it to the end,
but I don't see how that Battle of Winterfell happens in episode 3.
I think that's just a way of getting everyone together.
Yeah,
and then it's gonna be like chaos once it's done.
Hopefully, he's trying to like reverse the spell on everybody, the Night King, or something like that.
All right, so now that we've talked about Game of Thrones for
about the length of a Game of Thrones episode,
pretty much. We probably could talk for another hour. Actually,
I could talk for hours about that.
We could just not do anything else, actually.
So we're gonna move on to with our theory of the this being our Game of Thrones edition. We have a Game of Thrones edition factor crap that Tom is going to. So Dave actually gets to participate for once.
Hell yes!
And gets to have some fun that we get to have every
shift
week.
This way so I don't accidentally see any answer key that he's got there.
And move over there.
Nope, I'm staying.
Let me just make sure Facebook
always stays right there. Tom, thank you for taking over Factor Crap. I think it's better in your hands.
It is in honor of you, Dave.
Well, thank you, and it will be much better than if had they been like, Dave, make a Factor Crap for Game of Thrones.
So what exactly is it? What's the?
Just stating facts. Just stating things about the show, and if you think they're.
Ooh!
Okay.
Fact or crap.
Okay, I didn't know if there was a specific.
I
Okay,
like
cool.
it.
It's not book material. Only
So
show
we'll do
or show related things.
Oh, he'll dictate.
Yeah,
that.
Mike,
Well,
Dave, Dan,
Facebook
me,
Live
and
is
the other
off.
one.
My phone died, so we're only on
So
Twitch.
Twitch, this is for you.
But we'll upload it to Facebook tomorrow.
All right. Do you guys talk, or you just say what you think immediately?
Now,
we
Talk it
can-
out.
we don't talk it out.
Goes
Well,
in a circle.
we've never stopped anyone from talking.
Sam
Like,
Chase
he's a
rambled
big-time
when he
relier on
was, Sam
people talking.
Sam Chase broke
Yeah.
many rules when he was doing it.
Yeah,
He's
so-
not allowed to communicate.
So it's pretty much you ask the question and we just say
Okay,
fact
I
or
like
crap,
that.
and
I like
we're gonna go. We'll go. Mike.
and watch
then,
out for him. He loves the guess. He's gonna be looking to see what Dave says.
So we'll do Mike, then Dave, then Dan, then
think
me,
Mike's gonna
and then
defer to
the
my
next
game
one.
of Thrones now.
It was the other way. Okay.
Yeah,
I should
so
be
it goes
good
back
at
and
this
forth.
one,
All
hopefully.
right, ready? I don't know if this is difficult or easy. So
Did I miss what the topic
Tom was
was?
probably
just
stuck
Game of
back
Thrones.
on it.
Oh,
Not
book
book
related
related,
stuff.
only the
Well, I
TV
didn't
show.
Thrones or Thrones show related?
Okay.
All right, ready? 1. The War of the Five Kings refers to the major conflict involving King of the North Robb Stark, King Robert Baratheon, and younger brothers Renly and Stannis, and King of the Iron Islands Balon Greyjoy.
Fact.
Crap.
Crap.
It is crap. It was not Robert Baratheon. It was Joffrey Baratheon.
You fucking piece of shit.
No, it's fine.
Because he said Robb Stark.
Just one person changed.
Because he
Dave
said
Dave
Robb
never
Stark
did
and Robert
those rules.
Baratheon in the
Wow.
same list. I'm like,
Wow.
nope.
All right, I see how this is gonna be.
Oh, is that Robert
That's
Baratheon?
Because I heard one or
entirely
two of them.
No,
I was
it's
like,
because he died. I mean,
It's
All right,
entirely
this is
fair.
bullshit because it's half true. It's a completely.
I'm sorry.
Not a
Half fact and crap.
Yeah,
Next.
I thought it wasn't Ned Stark. That's why I didn't think you.
Whatever, Dan.
What?
But you thought it was Ned
So wow,
Stark?
I didn't think it was Ned
Wow.
Stark.
Mike's first
Wow.
non-Dave
He didn't say
hosted Factor Crap, and he's done the most dissenting he has ever done for a single point.
Because
next
I'm
on the
used to
bonus.
the way you do it. Where you said you'll
Alright,
never
come on.
do that.
Queen Talisa Stark, Robb Stark's annoying wife, was born in the free city of Volantis.
I just love that description.
Fact.
I'm gonna say fact.
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 You all got it right. Fact.
Woo!
One Weg, one Dar, one, commonly referred to as 1-1 by the Free Folk, was killed during the Battle of the Wall by Gren and 5 other Night Watch brothers.
Crap.
Crap.
I'm gonna say crap.
Crap.
You're right. This was Mag the Mighty. 1-1 died during the Battle of the Blast.
As I say, freaking Ramsey gave him the.
That's the only reason I remember because I literally he got killed.
Could
and
you see
everyone I was
Tyler
watching was
trying to
like,
answer these if he's on there?
He'd be just getting
Yeah,
upset.
He just hang up halfway through.
I'm done.
Tyrion was scarred during the Battle of the Blackwater by Sir Mandon Moore, a member of the Kingsguard.
Crap.
I'm gonna say fact.
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 It is a fact.
Good. I knew like
didn't know the
75% of
guy's
it was
name.
right. I just didn't know there was that one little thing in there that was wrong.
Oberyn Martell, or as I like to call him, the Headless Dornishman, has 8 daughters.
Crap.
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 You are all incorrect.
He has
He had
8?
8? I thought he
I
had
was thinking of
6.
I thought he had
Sand
3.
Snakes,
Sand Snakes were
those
3
are
of them. He's got 5
bastards.
more.
Ah!
Alright.
I'm gonna rewatch
Remember
that
Yeah,
that,
episode.
like,
where
I
he
wasn't
points
sure,
at all
but I
of
didn't
them,
want to
too.
lose a point on the rest of you guys, so I just said what you guys said.
That's a good tactic.
I'm gonna rewatch that episode where he go because remember he like
They only show
even
3,
gestures
They only
too.
show 3.
That's why I thought it was 3.
But they say
Well,
multiple times he has 8.
I was gonna say, but don't like he gestures to them and then like mumbles something about having more of them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, he said it multiple times. And people said it on his behalf in Season 5. But Kit Harington, a.k.a. Jon Snow, has appeared in more episodes than any other character. This is Mike.
No, I think it
Oh, is it
started.
you?
Yeah, it started with me because I answered last on the last one.
Okay.
And I am going to say fact.
I'm gonna say fact too.
Crap.
Crap. Peter Dinklage
Danny.
has appeared in more episodes.
Damn!
The most episodes.
What's the
62 out of 68.
I thought it was going to be
And John's
Daenerys.
been how many?
I don't know, John's.
Wasn't he dead for a couple? Like, they still showed his corpse.
Yeah.
There's a lot in season 1 and 2 that he's not in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
more
just a
Rob
bastard
time
then.
at that point.
Yeah,
No.
that's right.
He was doing the
yeah, he's
balls.
just
Where's,
meh,
where's,
up at
yeah,
the wall.
where's John? They sent him away.
Yeah,
And that's how we'll speak of
it.
it.
Mike.
All right. David Nutter has directed the most Game of Thrones episodes to date.
Crap. I'll give you David Nutter.
Fact.
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 That is crap.
Wow.
Alan Taylor has directed the most with 7. David Nutter at 6. The Night's Watch blows their horn 2 times to signal wildlings. Voter.
Fact.
Fact.
This is the thing that sucks. Is I read they have a thing in the book about it, and now I'm getting confused. Crap.
Fact.
It is fact.
It's probably like
1
2 for wildlings and 3 for White Walkers.
1 for Rangers, 2 for Wildlings, 3 for White Walkers. Now, let me tally up the first page. So, give you who's in the lead.
Ooh, we get an ongoing
A
who's in the
live
lead.
stat
Oh man,
check.
live updating stats here.
Now, if
before
I was
think,
given,
the last
all
two
right,
the
if I
last
was
two.
given a chance to do stats middle of Factor Crap, but because Factor Crap is shoehorned at the end usually,
Well, I mean, we're definitely over time, but
So, Mike has 6, Dan has 5, Boder and Dave have 4. Correct.
bam.
The battle for the
There is
throne.
5 more questions. Or actually, no, you have time to go back. Number 9. Jorah Mormont, after being expelled from Westeros, was once a member of the Golden Company. This is...
What does that mean?
I think that starts with Mike.
Crap.
Fact.
Crap.
Fact.
Fact.
Damn it.
Yeah, buddy.
That just made everyone almost even, right?
Yeah.
Except for Mike with 1 more than us, too.
Number 10. In Dothraki language, Khaleesi stands for Wife of the Cow.
Say that again?
In the Dothraki language, Khaleesi stands for Wife of the Cow.
I'm gonna say fact.
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 Fact. But I wanted to say crap, just so.
Fact. There's no correlation to
So I have to stick with
Yeah,
you guys
it was
just in
either
case.
that or like mother or something like that.
So
I
it
thought
was
it meant
true?
queen. But
True.
Yes.
Yes. It's fun being
At the
on this
beginning
side
of
of Factor
season
Crap.
1, houses Tully, Mormont, Glover, Karstark, and Umber are the most prominent vessel houses of House Stark.
One more time.
At the beginning of who is a start on? This is a Boder one.
No,
This is a Mike one.
This
This
is
is Mike. At the beginning of season 1, houses Tully, Mormont, Glover, Karstark, and Umber are some of the most prominent vessel houses of House Stark.
Fact. That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Fact. There's a lot of people in that room.
Go for the fences here and say crap.
There's probably one that wants.
Yeah, that's like I don't recognize Umber. No, I do get Umber. I'm gonna say fact.
I threw
Houses
money.
Tully, Mormont, Glover, Karstark, and Umber. House Tully is the Riverlands.
Oh, shit.
Crap.
Piece of shit. I knew
So
there
It was first!
there
Tully,
was many of them. Okay.
the Lord of the Riverlands.
You're playing
Riverrun,
psychological
Riverrun.
games with how you're posing your question.
Would you expect anything less of
That's
Tommy
fine.
Boy?
That's fine.
Alright, no
It's
one's
good.
wrong.
It's good.
Okay.
How many?
This is question 12. Both Samwell Tarly and the Lady Melisandre have Funko Pops.
Say those two again.
Hold on.
Samwell Tarly and the Lady Melisandre. This is a Boder start.
Hold on. I need to see Dave's smile. I
I
need to see Dave's lack of a poker face. I'm going to say fact.
Crap.
Fact.
Fact.
True. Number 27 and 42.
We had him in here.
I knew Samwell we had.
We saw Melisandre at New
We
York
had
Comic
both
Con.
of them, and I know actually Melisandre may have come and gone before he even realized.
I
And
know-
I
I
don't
knew
work
Sam
here,
one
so
was
I have
here.
no idea.
I just thought one of the two were right. I knew Sam. We had the Samwell.
I bought
I just
Claire's
saw her
mom,
the other day,
Samwell,
that's
and
why,
Samwell's worth boku bucks at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, he's worth a good
All right,
amount.
this is the final normal question. 13. The Game of Thrones video game released in 2012, not the 2014 Telltale series,
Okay.
scored above a 50 on Metacritic for Xbox 360. This is a mic start. I'll repeat it again if you want.
Did you say scored above or below it?
The Game of Thrones video game released in 2012, not the 2014 Telltale series, scored above a 50 on Metacritic for Xbox 360.
Crap.
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 It scored a 52.
I knew it was bad. That's what you guys get
But
for all
didn't-
following me.
No, but didn't
follow you.
the
No, I think
PlayStation
all of
version
us
of it scored better than the Xbox
The
version?
PlayStation was like a 56, PC was like a 58.
Because here's the funny thing: if you go to a Target right now and you go to their sales section, there is a copy of that game sitting in the sales section because it sold that well initially. They did a second run, and then the Telltale version released, and it tanked it.
And this is any Target you go to.
Really? Oh no! Call me on it. Take pictures.
All right, so this is a big time bonus. So Dan has 7, Mike has 8, Dave and Boder have 7. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand you out papers.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Hell yeah!
Essay question.
Do you even have pens?
I have Sharpies.
Yeah, that's what all the Sharpies over there were for.
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to write this down, and then you're gonna turn it to the camera.
Now, if I
to
had
write
it done
down.
this,
I think this is pretty easy, but
if I had it done this, everyone would go, "Fuck! I'm not doing
I
that."
wish I could make it more difficult now given the
Tyler would be like,
circumstances. But
I had to get paper.
So is this only worth 1 point,
this
or
is
is this
worth 2 points.
This is worth 2
and I have it
points.
written down on the paper that it's worth 2 points, so I'm not bullshitting.
So it's sealing. It's either Mike sealing the win
Mike
or
gets
Mike
it,
loses
he wins
definitively.
outright.
Yeah.
Right, you ready?
Where's my Sharpie, man?
Oh, I thought you already had it.
What the fuck, man?
Alright, you ready?
Yep.
What is the official Lannister family motto? And we're gonna do this one at a time as well.
I know I'm wrong, but I'm gonna put it.
This is wrong.
What are we going to the second page?
What is the official Lannister family motto?
Have
10
you-
seconds.
Okay, so are you actually counting? Do you have the sand?
What are you writing an essay over there? Alright.
Oh, I was just gonna go until you told me I was out of time.
And
Lannisters always pay their debts. I knew that was kind of wrong, so.
Boder?
Not the debt thing, and then I just started writing the lyrics to Rains of Castamere.
Is he right?
No, I said not the debt thing. I wrote.
Fire and blood, that is Targaryen.
I was gonna say
Yeah, that's
I know
Targaryen.
it's not Lannister.
And Lannister.
What is it?
Hear me roar.
Wow, that's right!
Oh, come on! You go into like either of the two shops next door, and you see that halfway over their damn walls.
So Mike wins. 8 out of 14.
It was a close match. Close
Yeah,
match.
that was a good one.
Where you
All
going?
right.
I'm putting this in the back.
Those bastards. Could you print me a copy of that question sheet,
Yeah.
please? I keep it for my records.
Real quick while he's doing that, before we close out, for our normals here, I can't go without talking about it. PlayStation 5 has some new details that were announced over the last day. PS5 in an interview, they came out and confirmed a bunch of stuff that that the PlayStation 5 will have a disc tray. It will be allowed. So
They're trying to stick it to Xbox again.
Discs aren't going to be going anywhere for PlayStation 5. It will be fully backwards compatible with all PlayStation 4 games.
Oh, just PS4. I thought you were going to
PlayStation
say
4.
all PlayStation
And
games.
for the time being, it will not be out in 2019, so 2020 is what they're aiming for. And while it does come out, they will still be making PlayStation 4 games with the PlayStation 5.
That's what they always
So
do.
kind of what they're doing, but it won't be an automatic stop of the 4.
Yeah,
so they'll continue
that's what
it.
they always do.
All the
Good to
VR
know.
stuff is still compatible.
Oh, cool.
So all the VR stuff is
Nice.
compatible.
You don't need not with the
that
Xbox. When
would've
Xbox
been
One came out, you
bullshit.
needed to get a new Kinect.
No, so all the
whatever, if you
VR
wanted
stuff will
that.
still be
Yep. Cool,
compatible with enhancements.
So you're saying that I can play Godzilla on a PS5?
Technically, you can.
Oh,
And obviously
yeah!
there's a lot more specs they talk. I don't have my laptop does. I don't have the full specs.
I think one thing, because I think Microsoft is going to be doing something pretty soon. So I think once they come out with the specs for their next one, if they actually release them, then it'll be good to actually be able to compare them side by
But
side.
the interview, they were very surprised in the interview that the Sony guy confirmed all this stuff so soon. So
Yeah.
I think that was kind of a shock. And they're not going to E3. Sony is not
No,
going to.
I mean, they have their own.
Right, so they're not going to E3. So nothing's
E3's
to
not
be.
what it used to be. Everyone does their own thing anyway.
So, kind of interesting. I mean, Microsoft, who just announced that, well, didn't announce, but they announced one's coming out, I think May 7th. They're doing a fully
An
disc.
Xbox One
or
with
fully-
no disc tray.
No disc tray.
It's digital only, and when you purchase it, it does come with 4 of their most popular titles already installed.
Right.
That's kind of a way of
They're testing the market.
They're conditioning people to get used to this idea that you're going to be buying digitally.
But I don't know if they're
I
trying to-
like the idea that it's testing the
I
market.
don't think they're
I
trying to
didn't click the
convince
link,
people.
actually.
No.
I think they're just testing it to see how well it does.
And if it flops as bad as the PSP
Right.
Go, then they put a disc tray in the next Xbox.
Yeah.
Unless it's like way cheaper, I don't understand the point of getting a disc.
I don't
It's
think,
not.
no.
I don't think
I don't even think it's cheaper than buying.
It's not.
I think it might be even more expensive, or if not,
I think I honestly think it's $2.99, Dave.
Xbox
I think
One.
it's the same price as the normal one because they're making it 1 terabyte, which you would think makes it high, but they're taking away the disc tray, which brings it back down to normal price. I think it's $2.99, but it comes out.
Amp Slayer says it's more expensive than a normal Xbox One. What about compared to an Xbox One X? Or like it might be.
I think it's $2.99. I don't know. I think
1
it's
terabyte is
$2.99.
not enough space for a download.
No,
only.
God,
No.
Xbox
But
One
I
games are
think
so
this is
friggin'
just
massive,
their
I hate
way.
it.
This is just their way of testing to see if they can do what they want to do with the next one, and see. And if
Yeah.
it flops, then they won't
If
do
it
that.
flops, yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. PlayStation's already getting out ahead of the curve, announcing that theirs is going to play CDs. So I got to imagine
I hate
the new Xbox is got to have CDs.
As soon as they hear
Even if they don't
something
want 'em,
negative
they
about
gotta have
Xbox,
CDs.
like, well, we're doing that. Opposite of it.
I mean,
buy me.
Microsoft did the exact
Exactly what
same
they did
thing.
with PS4.
All right, unfortunately I got to stop monitoring chat. That phone's about to die.
Yeah.
But
Real quick, Saratoga Comic Con will be there April 27th, 28th. You can get all your tickets online, SaratogaComicCon.com. We'll be there. Interesting, fun discussion tonight with Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
We'll have to have it again as the season goes.
Thanks for coming on, Tom.
We have 5 more episodes to go,
Thank you,
so
Tom.
I guess we'll have a lot more
Thank you.
Game of Thrones talk.
I think I mean not as in depth. I think it was cool to do this. Maybe just like 10 minutes if we do any in the future.
We'll have
And
one
then
more
obviously
big
the
one,
fun
either
after the
before
finale.
the season
Finale.
finale or right after.
After the finale, yeah.
But we can fully absorb everything
Cool.
that happened and talk and go through. And we really want to hear your theories and thoughts too. So as we move on, talk a little bit about it, and at the end, make sure you guys chime in. Anything else?
Nope.
Full episodes will be on YouTube at Behind the Counter. You can watch it there. You can also watch full episodes while they're on our library on Twitch at Insane Video Games. Always keep up to date with us week by week on Facebook at Insane Games NY, and now on Instagram at Insane Games NY. We're going to let Dave run wild with that and have some fun with that, so we're excited about that. I think we'll run a couple promotions and giveaways to get people over there. And I think Instagram's becoming the new thing where it's getting a lot more people. People are more willing to follow it, and and you can have a lot more fun with the photos and videos. So, anything else before we go?
Nope.
Anything? Music all the time. Get out of here!
Now I gotta actually stop the broadcast.
Grow up, Dan.
Come on, Boda, do your job.